How do you go from hosting South Africa's biggest sports program on the most widely syndicated sports channel in South Africa to being one of the young, famous, and African, what do you call it? The people on the show. Like, walk me through it briefly. How did it happen?
Well, a big
on Netflix. On Netflix,
you're the first to hear the story because I don't do a lot of interviews, you know. So
exclusive.
You're the first to hear the story. A big shout out to Fantana out of Ghana. We got big love for her. One of the producers, actually, one of the executive producers, and one of the people that came up with the concept of Young Famous and African is Ghanaian. One of the owners of the producers of the show is a man called Martin, and he's Ghanaian. So big shout out to
Martin
him as well.
Asari.
Yeah, you know, I love Martin. He's done a great deal with his life and this. So it's. I got a call, and they said, "Andile, reality TV." I said, "Me, never. I'm a professional. I'm a sports broadcaster. You know, I wear a suit at work, and I speak to presidents. I speak to ministers every day. What am I doing on a reality show?" I said, "No." For months, you know, said, "Hey, Diamond is on." You know, I said, "Diamond? I don't know who Diamond is." They said, "Oh, he's a big star." And I looked him up and I said, "Oh, he's a big star. He's a musician. It's only right that he does this." And they told me all the names. I said, "Guys, I'm not interested." And then Martin called me the one day and he said, "Have you ever left South Africa? Have you ever been to Europe? Have you ever been to America?" I said, "Yeah, I travel a lot. I love to travel." He said, "What is the depiction of Africa in Europe and in the US in particular, but even in Asia and South America?" I said, "Yeah, man. In America, they've got this thing called $1 a day, you know, where you get there and they've got these these you donate $1 a day to Africa, and they've got these African babies with flies all over them, and you open the TV and you look at anything African, and we always depict it to be the butt of the world, you know, the black continent where nothing good grows or happens, just safari and animals and people that don't even have normal clothes." He said, "Imagine if you're a part of a program that is going to change the perception of Africa. They're going to see that there's young people that are doing well. There's African people, there's famous people who are doing well. Inspire the world, inspire other Africans. You know, there's people that drive fancy cars, have lots of money, and speak good English, and you know, dress well, and they live well. You can compare the cosmopolitan part of Africa to anywhere in the world. You go to any cosmopolitan city in Africa and you could be anywhere in the world, you know." And I said, "Okay, that's different. I don't want to fight though. I don't want to have bodyguards stop me from beating up people." He said, "No, let's showcase the greatness that is Africa." And I said, "You know what? I'm in. I'm in. If that's what we're doing, it's African Giant. It's the best stylist in Africa, one of the biggest actresses and musicians in Africa. It's one of the biggest socialites in Kanyibao in Africa. We're getting together and showcasing the richest square mile, which is Sandton in South Africa, on the continent." I said, "I'm in." And I think in season 1, we did that. You know, we were Africans having fun. In season 2, it got a little bit messy, but we're still affluent Africans having fun. I haven't, you know, I've never watched a single episode of Young Famous and African, not even in season 1 or 2. I can't watch it. I don't watch it. I'm not a big fan of reality TV. But I understand what it does to showcase the continent and also to showcase who we are to the world. You know, and that's why I did it. I wanted to be part of history.
What did it do? I mean, this is a football interview, but football and
Yeah,
entertainment.
no, we're here.
What did it do for you? What did it do for you?
It's, you know, and it's going to be a funny thing to say when you're when you're in a reality show, but I'm actually quite private. You know, nobody knows where I live, what I drive, who I'm dating at the time. So the reality TV exposed a lot of that. But what it did for me is I can walk in Ghana now and people know who Andile is. Nigeria, in Europe, I go to Paris, I go to, you know what I mean? I go to Denmark, I go to Amsterdam, Turkey, and people know who Andile is. And they can take lessons from how an African mother raised a child, and somebody sitting in America can say, wow, he makes a lot of sense. Wow, there's a lesson in that. And for me, I look back at my mom and I say, Mom, you did that. You raised a son that the world thinks is a thinker and is smart, and he is able to articulate himself well.
And a
I'm proud
charmer.
of you.
And a charmer.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yo,
I don't know about that.
yo, what I watched it. I mean, because of this interview and stuff, I watched it, because I knew I was going to talk to you just to get a sense of like, hey, I'm smooth, my brother. I'm like, I'm like, you know,
Uh,
I've been like you, I've been blessed. I work in London and other places, and people, oh, Gary Al
yeah,
Smith, because of what you do. And
yeah,
so I was like, I know this guy. They know this is my guy. Yeah, Andile is my guy. I'm like, yeah, I was with him at the AFCON. Like, we were on the plane together. We flew from, was it Abidjan to Boaké? And I'm like, oh, yeah,
yeah.
that's my guy. And I showed them a picture. I'm like, yeah, that's my guy. And
It
I'm
was
like,
crazy because Abidjan was crazy because I was with Adebayo a
yeah,
lot. He took me to every club there,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and he had never seen the show. So we get into a club, and everybody's like, "Oh, Adebayo," and he's taking pictures, and they're like, "Oh, Andile, can we take?" And he says, "No, no, this is my boy that I'm bringing with me." And then he says, "Hey, who are you?"
Who are you? Exactly. Because by that time, last year by this time, season 2 had just aired, right? And they were getting
Yeah,
ready for
yeah,
season 3. Yeah. Anyway, it's great. I mean, because we are at the nexus of sport and entertainment, what we do. Um, just that, like you, I'm also intensely private as well,
yeah.
on that side. And so I absolutely understand what it means for you to say, before that time you were private and all. But it's been great talking to you. Best wishes to Bafana.
Listen,
And
yeah.
the final
So,
thing,
Ghana,
yeah,
please, all of you, we have to get back and build our relationship. Let's see your support for Bafana Bafana South Africa in Morocco come December. And then maybe we'll get back on
maybe
terms. Maybe.
after the trolling is done, because that has to go. That has to be done,
That has to go.
obviously.
That has to
Yeah,
go.
that
It
has to go.
definitely, it's football. It's football.
Yes, it's part of the business. So, thank you, Andile. It's been wonderful. And so, question that somebody who watches YFA also wanted me to ask you:
Yeah.
are you going to be in another season, because you're not in season 3? Are you going to be in
Ooh.
another season of Young, Famous, and African? Because I mean, it's one of the hottest things on Netflix right now. Anybody go on, and it's
Yeah, it's, it's
yeah,
it's it's one of the biggest shows in the world, and
right
I'm
now,
very
yeah,
proud of YFA. Not
mm,
only in Africa, people don't realize this.
yeah,
It's literally one of the biggest shows in the world
in the world,
right
yeah.
now.
And for me as a
Um,
Ghanaian, I'm very proud because, like you said, a Ghanaian is one of the executive producers. But it's not just her.
yeah,
It's not just him. It's Peace Hyde as well. Peace Hyde is
yeah,
Ghanaian. So it's
yeah.
when I saw
Oh,
the
actually, I
name,
thought she was Nigerian.
you know what? Everybody thinks Peace Hyde is Nigerian, and that
I
says
thought,
a
and
lot. No,
I talk to Peace all the time. I thought she was Nigerian.
and she don't know. Peace is from here, man. She's one of us. Peace is Ghanaian.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought Peace was from Nigeria and Martin from
No,
Ghana. So they
you know,
both from Nigeria, from
the way
Ghana?
Peace moves, like, and it's just like the way I move as well, and people think, oh, Gary, you must be Nigerian. Peace is Ghanaian, like she's ours, man. Yo, Nigeria, back off. So the two producers of YFA are Ghanaian, and we are so proud of that. Yeah, she's Ghanaian. Peace is
Oh
Ghanaian.
man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, people keep supporting it, people keep watching it, people keep tweeting about it, so that Netflix can see the value
yeah.
of Africans. Because if we don't do it, whether you like it or not, whether you say bad things or not, but as long as you're watching and you're commenting,
Give
that's
it
what entertainment's
talkability.
about.
Yeah, give it
Yeah.
talkability. Yeah,
Because if YFA fails, Africa's failed, and Netflix's investment in Africa has failed. And I
yeah,
think we need to show them that as much as they've got all these other reality shows, we can compete with those. We can make good television. We can make good entertainment that you can take to the world. You
yeah.
know, so let's support it. Let's be behind it. And yeah, I can't wait to see it blow up even more than it is. And I hope that the guys get on the continent. I'd like to see Nadia, Naked, Kanye, Diamond go to Ghana. go to Nigeria, go to Liberia, go to all these beautiful African countries, and let them carry the torch of the entire continent.
Wicked. Thank you, Andile. Once again, I've said thank you, Andile, 3 times already. This is the final
You're my
thank you.
boy.
Yeah,
You're my
always,
boy, and I
always,
appreciate it.
always.
Hey, this is my boy, Gary L. Smith. We have a great time whenever we get out to CAF tournaments. He's a great brain, and I appreciate him. He comes on my show in South Africa all the time. And for all the Ghanaians that watch and listen to my show from Ghana and in South Africa on the Mighty Metro FM, you're the reason we're the award-winning show that's as big as it is. And those that watch me on my TV shows as well, I appreciate you, and bless.